On this episode of How to Make Dinner, I thought I would bring you along with me while we eat and drink our way through Sofia. In the morning when we're traveling, it's always nice to start with a little bit of a hearty breakfast at home. And so here it's easy enough to pick up some great yogurt and some great fruit. So I just made a little yogurt muesli fruit kind of breakfast. After we've had that, we can kind of go for coffee and have any other little extras that we want, but this just kind of gives us a good solid start, I think. After a little bit of wandering around, we went to a place for lunch that is called the Spaghetti Kitchen. And apparently there are two locations of this place. One of them is really good and one of them is really not good. We went to the good one. I've never been to the other one, but this one is pretty great. They make really nice pizzas. They made this really nice like pita pocket that was all puffed up and piping hot when it came to the table. Great to dip in salad dressing. And I ordered a tomato salad that was like peeled tomatoes, which is really common here. It's fresh tomatoes that are just peeled. And then this one came with a nice chunk of cheese and some blobs of chiapolu, which I made on an episode a few weeks back, and some walnuts and some nice garlicky oily stuff. It was a really, really nice salad. I also had some chicken soup, pileshki supa, which of course I love. I also made that a couple episodes back. And this one already had some yogurt and lemon stirred in, and it was really, really nice. After seeing some more of the city, we headed back to our neighborhood. We were staying off of Vitisha Boulevard, which is like the main pedestrian area in Sofia. I gotta love the pedestrian areas. I must say, I love this about all European cities. There's always a huge focus on pedestrian areas. We just don't have that back home, and I think that we're really, really missing out. If you think about your city, if you live in North America, does it have like a big chunk of the city that's car free? If it does, let me know where you live and I'll come visit. So there was this candy store close by to where we were staying called Hansel and Gretel, and it is just a kid magnet. Because there's all these figurines and things outside, and the way that the store is decorated is just pretty exuberant. After walking by several times, we finally caved and let the kiddo go in and order some cotton candy, and he got this giant blue one. And I have to say it was really fun watching it being made. It's been a pretty long time since I've seen that. I don't really go to fairs very often. So yeah, watching it get made, and of course he loved it and he ate the whole thing pretty quickly. That evening for dinner, we went to one of my favorite places that I've been to here. We actually went to the same restaurant last year and we kind of ordered the same stuff again because it was really delicious last year. The restaurant is called Divaca, which translates to wild man. And it's just such a nice restaurant. The food is fairly traditional. The prices are pretty good. And the atmosphere of the place is just really nice. They have this big giant tree growing right inside and this kind of whole green area, and I just really like it. I'll probably come here every time I'm in the city just because I love it so much. We ordered a salad that came with tomatoes and cucumbers and a nice kind of yogurt dill dressing, and it had little cubes of cold chicken on it as well. We also ordered some mackerel here, and I see mackerel on menus all the time over here. I love mackerel. It's a nice oily fish, and the mackerel came with some mashed potatoes. We also ordered some good old fries that were covered in cheese. They are not messing around with their cheese in this country. There's always a ton of cheese on top of everything. When it says there's cheese, it means there's a ton of cheese. It's kind of nice. We also ordered this roasted whole eggplant, skin off, cheese stuffed inside, and on a bed of nice kind of chunky, hearty tomato sauce. This is the kind of thing that I order at a restaurant and then I think, why don't I just make this at home all the time? Because it's gonna be pretty easy and it's pretty healthy and it's pretty flavorful. So yeah, maybe this is something I'm gonna start making at home. We also ordered some eggs panegyrski, which I talked about in the yogurt episode a few weeks ago. Just nice, soft poached eggs in a creamy yogurt sauce. And kiddo had a burger, and the burger was pretty good too. And of course, to go with my salad, I ordered a nice big glass of rakia, which I just love. It's the kind of most famous Bulgarian spirit. It's so good with a couple of ice cubes, and it's perfect with salad.
Cheers, you guys.
Later on that night, we went for a really nice walk through the garden in front of the National Palace of Culture. There's just tons of nice fountains there, and it's a nice stroll. Tons of people sitting around, having a good time. There's a really nice cafe called Cafe Memento, and we just sat there and had a couple of glasses of wine and then walked through the garden. And what I love is at night, there's all these young people sitting along the fountain, having a little time on their own or having a date or whatever. And it's just really nice. The next day we went and grabbed a couple of big cappuccinos and I ordered a bakery product. I don't really know what this thing was, but it kind of tasted like a bagel, but it was shaped like a mustache. And then we made our way to my favorite kind of historical area of Sofia, which is called Cirica. And Cirica used to be the eastern capital of ancient Rome. It was all built because of the natural mineral water springs that exist there. And it's so cool because not only are there tons of ruins around there that you can check out, but there are water fountains everywhere. And the water that comes out of there is this natural mineral water that comes straight out of the ground, and it's hot. There are a few fountains here and there, and then there's this whole area that is just designated for people to fill up their water. And I love it. In my mind, I just see this as this absolute luxury that everyone in the city gets to enjoy. It's very inclusive, you know? No matter who you are, no matter what your walk of life, you have access to the most amazing, healthy water. In the winter, I haven't been here in the winter, but in the winter, it's still hot. So if you're cold, you can just go and warm up with the hot water at the water fountain. So I filled up my water bottle, of course, and it happens to be insulated, which meant I got to enjoy that kind of warm, hot water for a while. It was great. As we were walking through Cirica, we were starting to get hungry again. So we found this little restaurant that was right next to some ruins. So we got a pretty good view, and it was a nice looking place. So we went in. It was kind of like a Mediterranean-ish, like leaning towards Italian place. So we got some hummus and we got a couple pizzas. I had a pizza with prosciutto and arugula and some pasta with sun-dried tomatoes and chicken. It was definitely not Bulgarian, but you know what? After being here for 2 months, I'm totally cool with not eating Bulgarian food all the time. I love it so much, but we're in a really metropolitan city, so why not eat other kinds of food too? And today is our last day here, so we went to this really cute little outdoor place in the middle of a park, which is so common. I gotta say, I know I talked about pedestrian areas already, but the thing about having a park with restaurants and bars and cafes right in the park, it's so good. Anyway, this place was great. Traditional wooden benches, which I love. And I just had a salad and some boiled potatoes with onions that I dumped vinegar and salt all over. So simple, but it kind of just hit the spot for what I was craving today. And now we're getting ready to go out for dinner at the same friend's house that we had dinner with last night. They actually have a really cool raincoat company called Code Rain. We checked out their shop for a minute yesterday. Really cool stuff. They use like photographs and then they turn the photographs into fabric and then they make raincoats out of it. So check them out for sure. So we're going over there for dinner now, and I'll see if I can snap some footage of whatever we eat. And that's it for How to Make Dinner Does Bulgaria. Thanks so much for coming with me for this holiday. It's been so fun sharing what I've been eating and drinking with you and sharing how to make some of this stuff with you. I hope you've enjoyed it. When we get home, I'm looking forward to getting back into some steady routines. I'll probably be doing, I don't want to say meal planning because I'm not really a meal planner, but I'm anticipating building a few kind of habits or systems for getting us back into the swing of back to school and back to work and making that all happen really nicely and smoothly. If there's anything you want to see related to normal dinner routines for back to school, back to work, please let me know. And I'll see you next time.